Okay, we are doing our tafuka. What is a tafuka? It is these ribbons. There are 4 times in the year where we go about measuring the solstice and the equinox. And it must be measured in Jerusalem. Guys, many of you are not familiar with the Enoch calendar, but it is the Enoch calendar that we must keep in these last days, in the time of the book of Revelation. It is the only calendar that works. We've proven that to you time and time again through the book of Esther. And here we are, the 7th day of the 7th month. That's correct. In just a few days is Yom Kippur. And we are in Jerusalem measuring the fall equinox. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, they kept the Enoch calendar at the time of Christ's first coming. And it's in the time of his second coming, the calendar must be kept again, and time must be measured in Jerusalem. You can see my shirt. It says 000, the prime meridian of the world. It is in Jerusalem where all time will be measured. It will be shifted from Greenwich to Jerusalem, the city of the great king. So here in this park is a park. They have different things showing that Jerusalem will be the center of time. We have a sundial. We will show you our readings. We are doing 3 days of readings on our fall equinox to determine, okay, what is that tafuka? What is that fall marker in the calendar? Okay, and that's what these blue ribbons. You'll see the people have a ribbon. This is in Numbers chapter 15, and it is connected to the cycle of the sun. Sun has 4 cycles. There are 360 days in the year. We add 4, giving us 364 in the Enoch calendar, and we know this calendar is precisely accurate. Now, let us look at the shirt. You can see Jerusalem is the center of time. If you don't know what we're talking about, we'll put a link for the other video, guys. But this is what we're talking about, the new line, the new meridian, 000. Okay, we're here doing our fall equinox readings. You can see we're very, very close to midday, noon. And we're going to look at our readings on today, September 22nd. We got September 22nd. Technically, the equinox should be tomorrow, but we are here because we want to do 3 days of readings. Now, let's go through the sundial real quick and look at our alignments. Okay, here's our sundial, and we can see very, very close. We're to high noon when this circle in the middle is perfectly around the granite underneath it. Okay, so we're just about there. We'll get a closer look here. And we can also get our reading as the sun passes through here onto the ground. So that's the top. And then it's going to cast the sunlight here. And what we're looking for is, we're looking for the dot there you see in the middle to be perfectly centered around the light circle. Okay? We're not quite there. We're very close, as you can see. And we'll do this over a course of 3 days. So we'll get 3 days reading on this point so as to get you, the most accurate point. So again, we're very, very close. Okay, again, we're very, very close, as you can see. Just to explain how this works, we can see numbers 2 and 3. Number 2 relates to the spring equinox, and the spring equinox there, and the autumn equinox, September 22nd or 23rd. Now, technically, today is September 22nd, and you can see what happens is the sunlight, as it casts the angle here, casts a certain marker. So at the equinox, it's equal sunlight, daylight, and this will mark it perfectly. And what we want to do is give 3 readings, 3 days, to get the accurate date of the equinox. It does appear very close right now, like we're just about at the point of the equinox. And again, if it's not today, we'll come back tomorrow and also do readings. Okay, we're just about at the point where we can see that middle point, and what we're doing is we're looking for where the sun is appearing in relationship to the ball in the middle, and also to the 2 and the 3, to make sure we really get a good, accurate reading here. I mean, that looks close, but we'll have to come back again tomorrow. Okay, now we're at the absolute center point, which we can see. And again, let's look at where we are on the sundial. Okay, we're just about at high noon here. And day 2, September 23rd of our equinox reading. We can see the lines and you can see the circle. Everything is just about at the precise moment of the fall equinox. So let's take a look and see where we're looking at. Okay, we see our lines and hold very, very close, if not high noon. And here is our reading. And here we're waiting for the precise moment when our ball is in the center. Okay. And we will compare that with what we saw yesterday and make sure we have a precise reading on our fall equinox. But we're just about there. And we want to get something that is as close to where we can perceive as being the ball in the center of the light in the sundial, okay? And so here we can kind of see the light on the top of the 3 here, giving us a little bit of an indication of movement as we compare that to yesterday. Okay, and we'll also get readings tomorrow. Just about at that point here, and then let's look at the front. And again, we have these alignments here. Okay, and just at high noon. Just a quick description to this, guys. So this is east, and when the sun comes this way, it will cast a shadow on these bars, and when it does, it moves. Think of it like a pendulum. So if the sun is coming this way, it projects a shadow over here, and then it centers at noon, and then it goes down over there in the west, and when it does, the shadow then begins to move this direction. So this is later in the day, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. And then it goes down beyond the trees and we can't see it. Okay, so that if you have any questions about that, that's why we have that. So now we have a little bit of shadow. I don't know if you can see it beyond our markers here. So there we go. We're right at that point right now. Here we go. There's our reading. And let's get a nice zoom here. Let's get a nice look. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that would tell us that the fall equinox is really close. Either yesterday, today, tomorrow. We'll keep doing all these readings to just get the best footage possible, guys. And interesting enough, on our markers here, you can see we're just past it. So it's the shadow is not perfect here, and there is always some variance with this sundial. However, we've seen these days and to be very close. If you're unfamiliar with what we're doing and the sundial and looking at these markers here, this is our, let's see, we've been here last year in the fall, last year in the winter, last year in the spring. I did have someone give me readings in the summer, but I can't really share those results because they're not that clear. So we have 2 falls, this year, last year, and this today is very good results. Okay, so it appears that today is in fact the reading. Now, how this works, as you can see, as the sun projects here, this sundial is at an angle. Okay, see how it's at an angle? That angle is our distance to the equator. So when the sun is up at high noon, it's coming straight down. Okay, and it's at a point in the year where it's equal sunlight daytime. So for example, in the summer, the sun is at a higher place in the sky. So as it's at a higher place in the sky, the highest place in the sky is this summer solstice. Solstice means stand still. So when it does, it will cast this light where that 1 is. Okay? Then it comes back here in the fall where we are today. So think of it like a pendulum. So this light is coming through this hole, and it's like a pendulum. So the year starts in the spring, it goes to the summer, it goes back to the fall, and then it goes to the winter. And the winter here is number 5. Now if we look at the sundial, you can see number 1, summer solstice. Number 2, number 3 is the spring and fall equinoxes. Number 4 is a International Day for Tolerance, November 16th. And number 5 is the winter solstice. Okay, this is day 3 of our readings. We're getting very close to high noon. It is September 24th. And we have the equinox is past. It's not today. Well, let's take a look at our readings for today and see what we have. First, you can see our alignments are very close. See the 2 bars in the center. We're getting very close to high noon. And again, we can see the center circle. And we can also see, okay, we're almost there. We're not quite there. As the sun is passing through, again, now what we have is clear movement. If we compare the previous days, what it's doing is it's moving well beyond the 3 and the 2 now. And so what it's doing is as the sun passes through the hole there, in the summer the sun is highest in the sky, so it moves this way, and then each day we're seeing it slowly progress in this direction until it comes to the 5, which is the winter solstice. Okay, but we can see that the equinox has passed because our ball is no longer in the center. Okay, here's a nice vantage point to give you guys to see more or less what's going on. We have the angle, of course, of the sundial in its distance from the equator, and there you can see the sunlight on the ball, and we're just about at high noon, and we can see this line they've drawn. And again, this is our new meridian. The world will be measured by time in Jerusalem, the city of the great king. So let's take a look here. And we're right there, as you can see, right about at high noon. And we can see the light has moved now and past the equinox. It's moved down. With everything we have shown you over the last 3 days, here we can see day 1, September 22nd, and that is the 5th day of the 7th month on the Enoch calendar. And here is our reading. Guys, this is really close. You can tell me what you think. We're going to get a point really close. This is our time lapse. Right there. Okay, there's our reading. And that is awfully close to the center point for the fall equinox. It's like almost as if it's in between the 22nd and the 23rd. I mean, maybe it's the 23rd. Our next footage, our next time lapse, of course, will be September 23rd. Again, September 23rd is the 6th day of the 7th month on the Enoch calendar. Okay, and this does appear to be, but it's just really, really close. I mean, you can pause the video at the point in the center and go back and look as well if you'd like. It's just really, really hard. I apologize. I had I think the bandwidth ran out and had to reset this one on this 23rd day. But it's just so close. You can see right there. We're getting so close, and we're just about at it. Okay, there's our reset. Okay, I'd have to say that's center. I mean, September 23rd. That's got to be it right there, guys. That's got to be our equinox. It really is close, but I'm gonna just have to say, of the two, to me, it looks like September 23rd. Okay. And then, of course, our next piece of footage, our next time lapse, will be September 24th. Each of these segments we've shown you, I kind of do an intro. I say, okay, here's our readings for this day, and this is the time lapse of each day. And there you can see it clearly. This day it's past. The way we're viewing it, it's now moved down, and so this thus concludes our fall equinox. I'm going to have to say September 23rd to me looks like the best result with that ball right in the center. It just really, really is close, guys. So guys, thanks for watching. For more on this, you can watch the Enoch calendar playlist where we show you our results from doing readings like this throughout the year. But as we conclude, we're going to have a little bit of a description of the sundial, which you can pause the video and watch. For some more information on understanding this sundial, you can pause the video and read this description here. There is some variance of the time, but it's actually, the time varies throughout the year compared to Greenwich Mean Time. But again, pause the video and then you can read this here.